All right, welcome back. Favor Ori, the Chief Executive Officer at Payday, joins me right now from the United States of America. Hello, Favor, and thank you for joining us.
Hi, Nancy. Thanks for having me.
Hi, Favor. Now, let's get started. I know you are in the United States, but you've not experienced what Nigerians have been experiencing in the past few days. What is your own experience, or how can you really interpret what has been happening to us here in Nigeria vis-a-vis your experience over there in the United States of America, where that economy is an economy that operates on less cash? In fact, for many Nigerians that travel to the United States, for example, when you go shopping and you bring out your $100, the American will know that you're a foreigner. I'll be like, sometimes for me, they'll be like, you're a Nigerian. Sometimes they will take the $100 bill and be looking at it. Are you sure it's real? Because they hardly
Yeah.
use the $100 bill. So talk to me about just oppose those experiences and if we are really on the right path.
Nice. All right. So I'll tell what I've heard and what I've seen. So yesterday we had a couple friends who reached out to us. They were like, I can't log into my bank account, I can't make payments, I can't transfer money, banks are down. And I'm like, have you tried Payday? And they basically signed up on Payday. Payday is what we run. Signed up on Payday, they're able to like send money. So when all the banks were down, Payday could still transfer money, you could still pay your bills, buy airtime, etc. So the issue now is that Africa has basically been trying to keep up with the digital payments pace globally. And you can basically see this in, especially in Nigeria, you can see this in how much we received in investments in the billions and how pretty much cross-border partnerships, etc. So we've been trying to like keep up with the pace, growing really fast as well. But there's an issue. Like the surprise here is that cash is still king. You still need money. You still need cash to transact. You still need P2P. You still need POS. All these things are critical, right, to a digital economy. So what I've seen so far in the past couple of weeks would be people not being able to pay for stuff because they don't have the cash, or they can't pay because the cards are not working, or because the bank accounts are not working. It's a whole thing, right? But like it can be fixed. We're already on track to fix it. On the US side of things, right? I've been here, like I came here to study in 2016. I've basically lived here, I've lived in the UK, etc. Thing that's common is that we have a platform, Apple Pay, there's Google Pay, there's cards, everything. You can just like choose how you want to pay. So from basically using your card to tap and pay when you enter the train, or basically using your card to swipe, it works. I don't think about payments in the US. I just pay. I don't even pray. I just pay and go. But in Nigeria, it feels like you have to like say some prayers when you're sending money. Let it just go a beg, and like that kind of thing. That's what I've seen so far, and that's how I'm comparing both places.
Can cashless transactions in Nigeria really be easier? Because just like you said, many Nigerians, you need to see when we want to make payments here in Nigeria. For the POS agents, or if you enter a store, you want to pay with a POS, they will hold the POS machine like this and be doing like this and be going to, is there network? Where is network? You understand? You understand what I mean? Or they'll be like, okay, let me go outside. Or you bring out the card, you put it in, you slide it into the machine up to 3 times. You make a transaction on a banking app. The money has left your account has been debited by the bank, but the recipient has not been credited, and the person is saying, I'm not going to allow you go until I get the money. Meanwhile, the money has left your account. So
Yeah.
how do we get out of all of this?
I feel like we're on track. So from connecting Nigeria, like I see how Starlink is basically trying to break in, bring in internet. That's the first thing. That's the first infrastructure you need to basically build an economy. To basically new fintechs launching, building new products, building new POS devices that are better connected to banks, that work seamlessly, etc. We are on track. We're not there yet, but we are very much on track. We've seen people like Kudi, we've seen people like FinCrowd, we've seen people like Flutterwave, Paystack all roll out POS devices. And this is going to basically change things, right? It's going to be faster, it's going to be seamless, it's going to be pretty hard to make payments. And there's going to be internet as well. I was at SpaceX a couple hours ago, and we have plans to basically deploy routers, a lot of them, to people across Nigeria, across Africa as well. So it looks like we didn't really anticipate this to happen. So when we basically went online, all online, cashless, there was like a whole, I would say, basically people could not banks could not handle the traffic they were seeing, right? So I feel like one fix would be basically bracing up to scale, not scale when it's time to scale. Basically, be elastic. When that time comes to scale, you scale. When you're basically scaling down, you scale down. That's one way. That's one fix. But like, I feel like yeah, we're on track. We've seen fintechs coming. We've seen investments come in. So we just need time to just make this happen.
do you see a point whereby it will get better vis-a-vis? I liked what you said. We're seeing some kind of innovation. Starlink has come in. We're seeing a lot of upgrade around even infrastructure. But the question also would be, when are we going to get it right? Must we suffer like this to get to the promised land? Because many Nigerians, some are even dying on the queues right now trying to get their cash. So is there an alternative before we get to that point? And that brings me to the next question, which is, can Nigeria really operate a cashless economy like the United States, or it will be a less cash? I don't know if they mean the same thing, but I hope you understand what I mean. A less cash or a cashless, yes.
Okay, so we can. It's easy. Pretty much there needs to be like a strong collaboration between fintechs and banks. We are not a bank, we are the technology company, right? We just take the best of what the banks have to offer and build on top of their infra. With people like Flutterwave, Paystack, and Co. So we already on track to do this. And let me just talk about Payday right now. Yeah, you can basically use Payday to pay for your bills, transfer money to your family and friends, send money abroad, receive pay from abroad. It works everywhere. It's fine. And this is because we're still using the same banking infra that the banks have, just that we're doing it differently. It's still your own bank account, it's still your own virtual account, it's still your own cards, but we just have a way to finesse it and just make it work, right? So there needs to be this collaboration between us, technology companies, and banks that have the infra, and just like make things happen. The infra is already there. It's not being built. It's already there, sitting down right there. We just have to like make it and deploy, scale it. That's what we need to do. So it's now. It's not in the future. Payday works now. People are using it. So I feel like we should collaborate more. More fintech should basically should come out. Should also like partner with banks to make this happen.
If guys like you and your colleagues in that sector, in the digital or in the fintech space, are making this kind of strides, and you're using the same banking infrastructure, but over here in Nigeria, it is actually messing up for those of us that are indigenous and all of that. So I'm wondering how you people meander the same banking infrastructure that we have here to make it easier for those that are on your platforms. How are you guys doing that? What exactly is it? Do you guys have two heads?
We have one. So pretty much, Payday is an American company. It's a Canadian company. It is a Rwandan company, and it's soon to be a Nigerian company. So what we do is, I feel like for you to be global, you have to have global partners, right? So we partner with American banks, fintechs, like Flutterwave and Co. We basically use these guys to be global, right? So that's the hack. So to be global, to issue cards, issue virtual accounts, issue everything that works globally, you need to be global. You can't be doing local all the time and expect your this thing to work like magic. It doesn't work that way. But like that's it.
Mm. Okay, let's talk about the issue of, I know there are virtual cards right now, and some people in
Mhm.
Nigeria do even have virtual cards. But are we looking at a scenario where there would be like, is there anything like virtual bank accounts? And how do you even integrate the rural population? Because when we're talking about financial inclusion, Nigeria still have a lot of percentage of the unbanked in our society. So how do we get this category of people to harness, to get them into the net, really, and definitely to harness this, these opportunities we're talking about? I also know now that there are some, sometimes you don't even need a bank account now to make payments. All you need is your phone number. With your phone number, you can just transfer the money. But how do we
Yeah.
get these people, into to be financially included and access these services without so much knowledge?
I see. So your first question, are there virtual accounts and how do they work? So there are virtual accounts. We currently issue about 20 virtual accounts on Payday, but we have just two rolled out. Actually, three: Nigerian accounts, GBP accounts, American account. It looks like this. So these are like American accounts, Swedish account, UK accounts. It's a lot, right? These are account numbers. And there's this thing we call one IBAN, one international bank account number we give to you. One account number can receive payments across the world. So if I go to Payday now and I go to my GBP account, I can basically receive payment from any country in the world with this account number that sits in the UK. And if I basically go to my US account, I can receive payments from across the world as well. So virtual accounts exist. It's just about going to talk to the banks abroad. Hey, can we issue your cards to Nigerians or your accounts to Nigerians and talk about how to verify them properly, etc. So yeah, they exist. I think I'm trying to remember your second question.
The second question is about the unbanked population. Because what you're saying right now,
Unbanked, yeah.
yes, may just be esoteric. One of those things you're saying right now could just be esoteric for different category of people. getting the unbanked people, how do they get access to even the basic services of, accessing or sending monies across with their phones, even if those phones are not Android phones, they are like the Nokia 3330 of those days and all of that.
Yeah. Yeah, we need to promote mobile money. It's a very big. If you go to Kenya, you see M-Pesa. It's the craziest thing ever I've seen in my life. So mobile money in Nigeria needs to be very big. So that way, your account number, your like you said, your phone number can be an account number. It can be a multi-currency account number. So it doesn't have to be just Naira. It can be a USD. I know I think a crazy, but like your Nigerian number can be a US bank account as well. So promote mobile money, make it grow, scale it. That's how you basically bank the unbanked.
That's how. It's nice that you gave the example of Kenya. Kenya is such a very good example when it comes to mobile money transactions and the speed at which the Kenyan economy has grown because of it. In fact, I think the Okada people in Kenya they don't even use cash. And because of M-Pesa and what we saw, the revolution with Safaricom many years ago, they were able to put that together. But as we close this interview, let's talk about cross-border payments in Africa, especially now with African Continental Free Trade Area. We now know that we have a continent of 1.3 billion people, and that's a trade. How do we ensure that cross-border payment? I also do know that the African Continental Free Trade Area came up with PAPs, what they call PAPs. Was it last year or so?
Yeah.
But how do we how do we encourage cross-border transactions, cross-border trade? Bearing in mind that as Africans, we do not even trade with ourselves enough. We trade with the rest of the world and ourselves.
Okay, just to clear the air first, I keep hearing people say payment in Africa is 1% built. That is very wrong. You have no idea what they are saying when they say that. So basically, it's built. We have infra, crazy infra. There is Flutterwave, there's SpaceTag, there's MFS Africa. There is a lot of infra out there. But it's about using the infra. It's about using pretty much utilities on the infra, right? So to promote cross-border payments in Africa, we just have to build on. When we launched Payday, we launched in 11 countries. So Ghana, Kenya, Rwanda. That's how I know about these corridors. And we're planning to relaunch in those corridors as well. So we already have the infra built, and they're still building it. You have to give it to the OGs. They've done this work, all the intense work connected to the banks, mobile money wallets, etc., in the millions. And all we just need to do now is basically like build more paydays, basically let people send money across border, send to Nigeria, to Kenya, to Ghana, to Rwanda, etc. So it's already there. It's just a matter of time to just build it out and roll it out and scale it.
Just a quick one before you go. How do you settle? Because there's a question of settlement in those. Are you settling in a third party, with a third party currency, for example, the dollar? Because what PAPs of the African Continental Free Trade Area idea is that it will settle in the local currency of that country. So, for example, if I want to trade with Namibia, for example, or I want to trade with which other country? Okay, I want to trade with Ghana, for example, and I need to send money to that person, or that person is buying something from me. The person will send me across the platform. I'll get my money in Naira, or the person will get his or her money in cedis and not dollars. I hope you understand what I mean.
I do. So I'll give an example. When we launched Payday, we get users to send money from Nigeria to Rwanda. So when they put the Naira on Payday and they send francs to Rwanda. So we settle locally using partners like Flutterwave and co. Then in Nigeria, we basically settle as well USD and co using local partners as well. That's, like I said, we're a technology company. We just take the best and brightest of the infras and just put it together. So we have all the partners sitting down there with all the banks. There's all the money in the billions sitting down there. All we just do is basically call your APIs and push money out.
Okay. I think, Favor, we'll leave it at that. So what you're telling us today, I hope we'll get to speak in like 2 years' time, and let's see how far we've gone. Yes, let's see at least between now and 2 years' time, from now to 2 years' time, let's see how far we've gone. If the financial inclusion story would have been better, and if we'll see more people in the rural areas be more financially included. So thank